It is 12 o'clock, and I am jumping into our annual general meeting where our shareholders gather, ask questions. I answer questions. Paul answers questions. We present, the results of all of the activities of the last financial year. Our financial year is from July to June, and then within 6 months of closing the financial year, we have this annual general meeting, which is literally right now. So I'm jumping in. Therefore, I'm dressed all fancy today. Okay. Today, I shall also be elected as chairman of the board. Let's see, hopefully. Hi, everyone.
Hello, okay. Paul. Hey, Yusufa.
Hey, guys. Hi, Martin. Hi, Michael. Hi, Mikkel.
Yusufa.
Tatenda.
Hi, Yusufa. Hi, Yusufa.
Hey, Arthur. Michael, you in Switzerland? yeah, exactly. So, if I'm not mistaken, I believe we are all here, as far as everyone that's formally suggested that they would be hopping on. So we can proceed with the agenda. We probably have at any given time, now that we're back in the very acquisitive mode, 10 to 15 targets on our radar at various levels of maturity. So Paul and I strongly suspect that within the calendar year 2026, half of that being financial year 2026, 2027, we should be doing at least one more acquisition, and with a bit of luck, potentially two. Okay, thank you guys. See you. Thank you guys. Guess who's chairman again? To be frank, I was the CEO up until April of 2025. I've been a member of the board forever. Paul then assumed the role of CEO, but technically I was not actually the chairman. So I was sort of wearing my big brother's suit in a way. I was sort of preempting that I would be voted chairman and not cast out to the cold. And so I'm now formally chairman of Northern Industries. Not too shabby.
That's awesome. What does that mean?
Oh gosh, what does it mean? Honestly, these titles don't really mean much. I think, for me, I can tell you what it means to me. So, the title that I take the most seriously is founder. Because essentially there was a time before there was an entity called Northern Industries, right? I mean, I just thought of that name amongst other names. Incepted the company together with Magnus as a partner. We acquired a business, hired people, acquired more businesses, and now it's a real thing with 350 employees. Now Northern Industries exists. And as founder, I feel as though I'm the chief steward of Northern Industries. And every time we buy a business, I feel as though in some ways I bear a responsibility, irrespective of whatever my title is. Chairman, CEO, doesn't matter. What matters is I care. I care about the business that I founded. I care about the people that work within that business. And I care about the businesses that we are buying and the people within those businesses. All this other stuff, fancy. Doesn't mean dog shit. Chairman, CEO, CIO, pick your title. Doesn't matter. Get shit done. Did you execute? What did you get done this week? What did you get done last week? What are you going to get done next year? Are you going to buy businesses? Are you doing deal flow, debt, equity? Are you making money? Are your shareholders happy? Are your annual general meetings 16 minutes with no objections? Are you the chairman? I am. Let me tell you one of the hardest things about making this damn show. Locations. Location scouting. Oscar and I, we're in my apartment talking about where should we shoot. There's like 7 hotels. We've been thrown out of 5 of them. We've been thrown out of shopping centers. We've been thrown out of everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now we're shooting.
We have never
We've never shot here before.
No.
This is my, what do you call this? I don't even know what this is. Like my laundry area. What do you call this? This is a fancy term, I'm sure. Okay, Oscar, you have a question for me, sir.
You want to build a team
Yes.
at your holding company. What is the 5 first and most important hires? Let's say you can only recruit one at a time. You cannot recruit all 5.
I love these games, With Oscar, it's right and wrong, The way I like to think about this, right? Again, deal flow, debt, equity. It all starts with deal flow. If you haven't found a company, okay, that makes money, and if you haven't convinced the business owner to sell you this company at reasonable terms of between 3 and 4 times earnings, then you have nothing, okay? Even if you have the promise of funding, Someone says, I'll back you, I'll give you money when you find a company. You still ain't got nothing, diddly squat. Because without deal flow and without targets, without a business that you can buy, you've got nothing. Therefore, the first hire is always interns, unpaid interns. Why? Because they start to help you industrialize your activity. When you just start, it's you, cup of coffee and a laptop, looking for companies for sale. Going on www.dealopportunities.co.uk, www.endole.co.uk, looking for companies that are available. Reaching out to the owners of those businesses, introducing yourself, compelling them to consider you as a potential owner going forward. And if you do it alone, first of all, it's lonely and sad, depressing. But secondly, what if you had 3 people doing those activities? You get 3 times the objective output, right? So hire you some interns. Do what I like to call the 2x2. Go watch that episode where you get 2 interns. You have them working 2 days a week. And then every week you have a 2-hour debrief where they run you through what they got done. First hire, interns. This show is not brought to you on a budget. We have live location scouts. Okay, they're out there right now looking for locations for us as we speak. But in the interim, we'll just shoot on my balcony. Stay along with me. Okay, so the second hire, you guessed it, a group CEO. And here's the thing, I don't want you to think of this and think of hiring as outsourcing responsibility. I think a lot of people, they assume, oh, I hate sales. I'm not good at sales. I hate speaking with people. I'm not confident. Therefore, I shall find someone and put them in front of me, and I get to shelter behind. That's not why you hire. You hire because, yes, on one hand, you want people that are much better than you, much more natural at the thing that needs to be done than you. But frankly, what you're trying to do is you're trying to industrialize a process. You're trying to inject systems, processes such that you can scale infrastructure, human infrastructure. So the reason you recruit a CEO is not so that you have a fancy guy or gal on your team, but it's so that that frees you up to then go and find the next targets by doing deal flow, debt, equity. Because once you've bought the first company, you then have someone whose job it is, whose mandate it is to stand watch, to stand guard. Make sense? To stay put and keep an eye on that business. Keep an eye on the first deal that you've done, such that you can bring more chickens into the coop. Because if you got one chicken in the coop and you leave the coop doors open and you're out there wandering the streets trying to find the next chickens, my friend, that is not how you build a chicken coop farm. Man, I should have been a philosopher. By the way, you hire the interns before you bought a company, and you start recruiting the CEO as part of trying to close the first deal, and certainly at the time of having bought the first deal.
Yeah, that was my add-on question.
Exactly.
Yeah, when?
And I'm recruiting investors for my chicken business, in case you were wondering. All right. Let's head. Hello, location scouts. Yes, where would you like us to head? The Ritz-Carlton. All right. They've spoken. Let's go. Okay, see you soon. Hello, Oscar. The echo, the wisdom echoes through the great halls. All right.
And we're on the third hire.
We're on the third hire. The noise gods follow us. The third hire is not a hire at all. It is a member of your team, and I would suggest that is, drum roll, your lawyer.
Oh.
A deal lawyer. Someone who understands what it is that you're trying to do. Someone who understands that, there are some risks associated with failing to close a transaction. And someone who understands that you may do, deal flow, debt, equity, but not get a deal across the finish line. So hopefully they're not racking up the billable hours, just, pulling on the billable hour lever till infinitum, but it understands that you might not close the deal, okay? And hopefully they're prepared to charge you on a contingency basis, meaning if you don't close the deal, then you don't have to pay on that specific transaction. Does that make sense? Now, so by this point, let's look at your team. Okay, you started out, it was just you. You registered your company, something capital, something investments, whatever. You're in business. If you operate in the UK, you probably went to companywizard.co.uk, registered an entity. You've got a website, you've got a landing page. You're in business now. Now what? You advertise. You try to recruit some interns. You say to them, hey, I've got a library of content that's going to train your ass on how to do this, 0 to 100. You push them to the channel, okay, so that they get trained. You inspire those guys. You get them moving, looking for deals. At some point, you come across a business that's profitable. You do the deal flow, debt equity cycle, and you buy a company. And as you're buying a company, you recruit a holding company CEO. Go watch the video on how to recruit and how to select a holding company CEO. So at this stage, you've got interns, you've got a company, you're in business, you've got a target, you've probably even bought the company, and you have a CEO. And what I would suggest is, as part of doing the transaction, you find a lawyer who understands that you're going to do this for the rest of your life. You're going to keep buying businesses for the next 5, 10, 20, 30 years, for the rest of your life, ideally. And that you are mutually aligned and mutually incentivized in being reasonable members of the community, whereby you're looking for deals and they're providing you with legal services to the point of close, but they're not charging you per hour of work, because that becomes unsustainable. That's why I sort of suggest that this is a member of your team, because in some ways you need mutual alignment. Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
All right. So, what do you think we've learned from this room? There's a lesson in this room, and let me show you what the lesson is. I present to you the posture of someone trying to raise equity. It's a metaphor. I want you to think of yourself as a conqueror of new lands, new territories, like Christopher Columbus and them. Good old Chrissy boy. Okay, the fourth hire. Similar to the third one, being a lawyer, I would recommend that your fourth recruit is your debt broker. Now, here's the thing. You don't actually hire a debt broker, right? You don't even pay a debt broker, unlike the lawyer. With the lawyer, it's a contingency-based fee, i.e., if we close the deal, I pay you. With the debt broker, you never actually pay them, because they get incentivized economically by the banks, right? So it's a perfect relationship whereby they work for you, they represent you, they help you line up debt, deal flow, debt equity. They are the debt. And once they found the debt, the banks pay them. What that means is you can unlock really good, harmonious relationships if you find a very good debt broker, whereby with my guy, Igor, he's probably watching this, I just pick up the phone, I'll call him. 7 minutes, he can tell me if a deal is fundable. Not only can he tell me if a deal is fundable, he can tell me specifically how it's fundable, specifically why it's fundable, and specifically what I should avoid if I'm trying to get that deal done. Literally a member of the team. In fact, he's invited me for drinks. We're supposed to hang out, go get chicken curry or something real soon. He's a member of the team. Number 4, a debt broker. As I exit that museum, food for thought. Who to hire and in what order? I stand on my soapbox and I address the crowd. Oscar, do not pan behind you, for there are too many people. Thousands waiting for the final hire, therefore I give it to you. A group finance director, or a CFO. That's the 5th hire. You don't need that hire unless you have more than 1 company, 2 companies, maybe even 3, but at some point, they become pivotal to getting quality financial controls, reporting, analyses, such that you can track the financial performance of your empire. I shall now address the good people directly. Hello, citizens.